Yo, what is good everybody, and welcome along to another tutorial on this channel. And today we're going to be making this sound through one single note press. So you press one note and it plays that sound, and you can move it up and down the keyboard. It's quite possibly going to be the largest instrument rack I've ever made, and my poor CPU is going to suffer from it. It's going to be epic. It'll be the almighty melodic rhythm note. Essentially we want a sub layer, a bass layer, a chord layer, a vocal layer, a vocoder layer. Oh my god, this is going to be intense. That is a few serums right there. So sub, A can go away. And this is the crucial part, Command G, that puts it in an instrument rack. And for this instrument rack, we are going to be using a bunch of different MIDI effects to hopefully make sure it all sits nicely in its separate octaves and such. Drag it onto serum, which is going to be our sub bass. This will probably be down 24, so 2 octaves. Maybe even 36. And I reckon I need some overdrive. Since it is melodic serum, it needs to be shaped, and it's hopefully going to be a yang kind of sound that's very chordy. So envelope 1. Drag the attack out and the sustain and decay down. Okay, 58 milliseconds. I'll have to remember that for the next layer. Cool, sub done. CPU's handling it alright. Let's move on to the next layer. Hopefully be this needs to go down one more octave. I suppose we could pitch it down 3 anyway. It's also be, what do we say, 50 or 60? I can't remember. It was literally 3 seconds ago. Sustain down, decay down. Melodic's usually like a growly kind of yoy sound, so I'm going to go and get some spectral. To give this patch more variation, since it's literally going to be pressing one note and it might sound pretty samey if all the notes sound exactly the same. So we're going to add in some variation, and with the vocal chops as well. And what we need to do is LFO1, leave it on off, trigger, it's going to have the same starting point every single time. Envelope, 1 repetition, that's it, off. Press it at different times, it's going to have different starting points, depends how far along it is on the grid. Sweet. Os B. We can just use envelope 1 actually. And FM from B. Do we want unison or do we want hyperdimension expander? Definitely need OTT. Can't hear the sub anymore, or we're gonna have to do some crafty EQing. And no, not reverb, we want delay. To mimic this in a way, the feedback is coming in hard. BPM off, link. Go to a really quick value. Could we even, oh, we could. LFO1 onto the delay. Maybe that's a bit too quick. Ping pong. Different variation, nice. We've lost the sub though, like I said before, we're gonna have to do some EQing. EQ, click drag, make it only on this bass layer. I'll rename it for convenience, so I don't get lost later on and be like, which layer am I trying to get effects onto? So hopefully let's not do that. This whole thing's going to be smashed with OTT and saturation at the end. It will be marvelous. Since we're kind of doing serum at the moment, high saw, unison all the way up, effects, OTT obviously. And where's our envelope? 160-ish again. Sustain down. What octave do we want? Maybe not. I was checking a filter on that, some high pass of sorts, so we can have it modulating or moving. Do you want two pieces? Too much resonance. Oh boy. Drive. Let's get the filter. Where is it? There it is. Fat. And we could go, if we wanted talking a bit more as well, we could find the formants. And also envelope, cut off that. A bit too high. Let's do the same trick we did for the main bass. Rate, turn that down to half on the first LFO. Let's muck it about with some parameters on this filter. Give it a bit more variation. And a similar thing with delay, but maybe not automate it or modulate it this time. Can't really hear what this layer's doing. That's super subtle. We can make this a squeaky layer. EQ. Bass. I like that little squelchy sound towards the end. We can emphasize that with erosion, wherever you are. There you are. Still dragging effects onto this high saw one. I somehow described that sound as moist. Now it is time to add in vocal layers. Simpler, new layer. Vocal. I reckon that one suits a bit better, but I have to go down one transposition. Nice, okay, attack. More MIDI effects. We could have a chord for this one. Up to octave. EQ for blending. Okay, and we want a vocoder of sorts. I'm wondering if we use this channel for the vocoder, because it could get quite interesting. Solid this. External audio from our instrument rack, and secondly will be our high saw, which you can't really see, but just need to blend it right. Put an OTT at the end. Nice, playing around with different parameters to get different sounds. We can even try different mappings from this. We could try from the sub. No, bass. I'm getting a bit of a metallic blend from that. That's definitely the bass influence coming through. I'm going to spice it up with the LFO tool on the formant. Map to formant. Okay, that's way too much. Maybe 40 to 60 for the range it's sweeping. Maybe a bit higher, 80. Too much, oh, way too much. Can we have random? Yeah, we want random. We need like a random, is that the smooth gonna? Yes. All right, time to add another layer. We're gonna use another simpler. This is hopefully gonna be the pluck. That'll do. But since it's like a stabby sound, we want it slightly delayed. We don't want it to come in straight away. So I think we can achieve this with delay actually. Delay on the pluck, sync time. It's gonna be 100% full frequency spectrum. 1 feedback. Okay, it's delayed. Let's get this delay right. We need to figure out what note that is so we can tune it accordingly. Slight detour, tuner. What would that be? Sounding like A sharp, so it needs to go up to C, so it needs to go up 2 semitones, which is nice and easy. 1, 2, no, that's 3. All right, back to the instrument rack. We could go -10 actually. We can make it even hard hitting. We can make it even harder hitting with some glue compression. We've got the growl, we've got the pluck, we've got the sub, we got the riddim-esque vocal formant sound. We need the melodic elements, so another serum. This could be the ARP. CPU still looking good. Okay, that's very surprising. We want a square wave. We want the octaves to go crazy, so we'll leave that on off. We want kind of a randomized pattern here. And remember our key envelopes from our serums, on our serums before: attack, sustain. Okay, that's way too much. EQ. Yes, now we're starting to get some melodic elements coming through. I feel like we're missing the super saw, but it's just too good to be true. And I'm running out of room. This is a lot of serums and simplers on one stack. Super saw, fingers crossed this fucking works. Usual, first envelope, attack. Second one's gonna be octave up. Scale, C minor at the start. Let's make it D sharp because that hits hard. And also scale on the super saw. D sharp. But why did we add a separate scale there when we got one at the start? Because we're going to chuck a chord right before it. This will be 7th, 12th, 19. This needs bleeding. That might need vocoding actually. Can I vocode itself? And of course the movement, so we want a high pass filter, getting rid of those lows. I feel like this is where the future bass kind of subtle influence comes into melodic rhythm. Compressor, OTT all the way. We need more attack. And for B as well. Chuck it on that. That is some weird grittiness in the background that's happening. EQ can carve that out. ARP is too much and needs a lot of EQ, but we're getting there. I can't wait to absolutely slam this with OTT. Oh, and it needs reverb as well. Oh, it needs the group effects to tie it all together. I kind of want to duplicate this. Super Saw 2. This is going to be the vocoder 2V maybe. I still want to do a couple more things. Oh, it's getting better and better. It is getting better and better. I was going to do a couple of things, completely forgets what to do. Vocoder on Super Saw 2. Solo this, and it is going to be external. Actually, we could, which is going to sound better, modulator or external from Instrument Rack, and it's going to be Super Saw 1. I reckon that's a bit better than modulator. LFO, of course, on this. We want our randomized, smooth, low rate kind of mapped to performance. Low value being 50%, so which is going to be smack bang down the middle, hopefully, in performance, and then this could be different chords. This could just be octaves. Way too many layers now. And that introduced too much low-end muddy grit. I gotta make sure I'm checking these effects on the right channel, which is probably not happening. Ah! Too many effects. Super Saw 2. Yeah, saw a little bit of bass there. Still in it. Maybe we need to fix our ARP. It's just hitting the low frequencies. Not a fan. I think that is the fundamental layer. 8 layers in the instrument rack to create this almighty melodic rhythm one-shot thing. It's about to sound so good. OTT and saturation. Oh! That is loud. I've still got a few things I want to try, like some delay roboticness. We should go before OTT. I do want to try resonator as well. I do also want to try reverb as well. So the last 3 effects, and it should sound magical. We'll throw some drums behind it and let's get it. Turn this off and off. It's wider, it's robotic-y. Super Saw is hitting too hard. What? How has that ever been a thing? Oh, because it's 40. Who's doing it? That's that little ring at the end. It's the pluck. Where are you? Anyway, delay sounds good. Resonator. What I decided when doing the scale tool is our key of our song is going to be D sharp minor. So root note is that, and then we'll go 7 and 12. Very quick decay. That's the resonator by itself. It's quite a cool effect that I don't use that much in Ableton. More. And then of course reverb. We can mix a few things here. Fuck it, arm can be wide. We need some. That is a stab and a half. I wish OTT would. It's just. Oh, this time value can up. Yes, it does. Let me throw some drums together and then we'll test this freaking thing out. Alright, so put together some drums, little background effects, and I've also chucked sidechain on right at the end of our instrument rack as well. I just need to create something, some melodic thing, just whatever the hell that was. One more thing to do, and that is to chuck ozone on the master, slam it, see how it would sound if it was mastered. And once you've got this, you can mix your two levels together. I decided I liked it to have more sub, possibly clip the mix and more up as well, and it just seemed to work. There's a lot of inner routing with MIDI effects, serums, LFO tools, vocoders, patching to different parts of the instrument rack. Chord sequence, arpeggiators, arpeggiators inside a serum, and just lots of effects and LFOs and shit. Just dedicate individual like stacks inside this instrument rack for specific parts. Have a clean one for sub, bass, your melodic stuff like your chords, vocal chops, etc, etc. Smash them all together with OTT and saturator, and maybe some delay or resonator to help bring that melodic kind of resonant-y sound through, and yeah, have a shitload of fun. This was so much fun. Slam it with some drums, ozone, and it's sounding delightful. And just have fun mixing the layers. Heaps of fun. Leave a like if you did enjoy the video. I'll catch you guys next time. Have a great day and peace!